Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us. My name is Michael Galt. I'm an eminent domain attorney with Bell Carrington, Price and Gregg. This is our pre-recorded town hall. Typically, we do town halls in a live YouTube setting, but we've done this one a little bit different. This one is on demand, and so if you're here with us today, there's a good chance that you found this town hall information through a mailer and a subsequent PR or a QR code that we sent to you. And so we'd like to welcome you here to join us in this informational session. This particular informational session is for the I-20 interchange project at Panola Road. If you work or own a business or have property that is impacted by this project, then you've likely been hearing about it for some time. This project has been going on for quite a while. And in fact, we believe that right-of-way acquisition has been going on for some time, although I'm confident that there are a number of landowners impacted by this project who have yet to settle or to take any action regarding right-of-way acquisition. We know that from some of the folks that we are currently working with on this particular project. What is the project? Well, with any interchange project at a major interstate such as this one, you know that the design by the DOT is made to and hopefully will improve traffic flow functionality and safety. Unfortunately, for many of you that own businesses or maybe even live or work around this particular intersection, the impact to you is far greater probably than you will see the benefit for quite some time. That is because of the nature of eminent domain. In a project like this, obviously to effectuate the project, GDOT in this case will need to obtain some private property for the public purpose of doing the interchange project. And when private property is obtained for a public purpose, that is known as eminent domain. That is the government, in this case, the Georgia Department of Transportation, exercising their right under the legal theory of eminent domain to take property that they need to make this project happen. Unfortunately, again, many of the parcels that are impacted in this particular project are commercial properties. They're properties with extremely high values, not only on the dirt, but on the improvements on the properties because of the location. There are many corporate impacts on this particular project, and there are many private businesses, some retail, some commercial. But we know that from looking at an aerial map of the impacts to most all of the parcels on this project, even if the impact is not significant in surface area, the impact to that existing business is still extremely significant because of the high property values in this particular area on this particular project. And so it's important for you, if you're a business owner, in-house counsel, real estate manager, most of you, if you're in that sort of role at a corporate institutional client, you've had to deal with eminent domain projects before. But for some of you that are solo or privately owned businesses, you may not have been impacted before. And that's why we would like to have this town hall, just to sort of explain to you the eminent domain process and how we may be able to help. Essentially, now someone from the DOT has either reached out to you or will reach out to you soon with an appraisal, with some information saying, hey, you're impacted by this project. Here's how we believe you're impacted, and here's what we think that impact is worth. And so that's what we're offering you. It's important to know that as a landowner, you also have rights. And among those is you do not have to accept the first offer from the DOT. In fact, if you reach out to someone like us, particularly at Bell Carrington, we have experts that we also bring in to provide reports that counteract those of the DOT in order for us to develop our counteroffer in the case. Oftentimes, the government may miss something. They may miss an impact. They may miss some access issues or some topography issues, visibility issues, all of these things that may change in what we call the after, meaning after the project is complete, that may not be accounted for in the before as it stands now. But you only have really one bite at the apple. You can't settle the case now, accept the just compensation that the DOT is offering you, and then come back in 2 years once the project is completed and say, hold on, we didn't think about this particular impact. I think I'm owed more money. No, you have one chance. And so that's important. It's important for landowners, for business owners, for folks that are making decisions, to make sure that you have somebody in your corner who can help identify those impacts, both now and into the future, so that we can make sure that you're adequately compensated through just compensation for all of those impacts at one time. One thing that I'd like to tell you about our practice at Bell Carrington is that we're a regional firm. I am the practice group leader for our eminent domain practice, but we have offices in both Carolinas, Georgia, Alabama, and Tennessee, and we're actively working eminent domain projects in those states through our attorneys in those states. And so, if you're a corporate business owner, if you're someone who's in the real estate side of things, or if you're a corporate in-house counsel, and you often have eminent domain projects like this that pop up throughout the Southeast, I invite you to give me a call. Let's have a discussion about how our firm may be able to help you sort of as a one-stop shop in multiple jurisdictions in eminent domain matters. We have lots of experience across those jurisdictions, and our attorneys are well-versed in eminent domain cases, and we'd be happy to discuss how we may be able to help in more detail if you'd like to give me a call. Backing up, so if we're unable to settle an eminent domain case through the initial negotiation stages with a right-of-way agent, eventually that file would be turned back over to the Georgia Department of Transportation for what we call condemnation proceedings. Condemnation is essentially like the lawsuit. That is the filing of a document that gives the government the right to take the property. Now, that doesn't mean that the case stops there. The case certainly continues, and the negotiations over the valuation of the impact certainly continues. But that starts the process that could ultimately lead to a trial in the case. If we're unable to settle an eminent domain matter, then you as a landowner and also the Department of Transportation as the government have a right to a trial for jurors to sit in a box and to tell you exactly what your impact is worth and what your property is worth. And sometimes that's beneficial, sometimes it's not. Very few civil cases, which is what this falls under, go to trial these days, just because of the uncertainty of the nature of trial. Most cases settle out of court, here in the Southeast, I think we've seen recently in some high-profile criminal trials that you really never know what a jury might do, and so that same principle transitions over to also to civil cases. And so we like to take the uncertainty out when we can, but just know that that is a possibility at the end of the day. That the case could ultimately go to trial. Before that, there are lots of small steps along the way. We can, as I mentioned, we have our own MAI appraisers who will come in and help us evaluate and to develop our counteroffer and our position on the property. We will work with the right-of-way agents or the attorney on the other side to help move toward a resolution. There's the possibility for a mediation. There are the possibilities for depositions and all of these other small steps in the process that we know and we can help walk you through to sort of take that headache and that burden and that stress off of you as a business owner, a real estate manager, or corporate counsel. This is what we do, and this is what we enjoy doing. And so we invite you to reach out to us. As I mentioned, this is pre-recorded, but we'll make sure to throw my contact information, an email address, and a phone number to our eminent domain group in the chat box or in the description. I think you probably also have it on the introduction letter that we sent to you. And we're standing by ready to speak with you to see, number one, if you're impacted, and number two, how we can help. We'll be able to see if you're impacted quickly during that initial consultation. We are fortunate at Bell Carrington to have some proprietary software, some in-house software known as the Avenue, which allows me or someone on our team in real time while we're on the phone during that initial consultation to pull up an aerial of your impact, an aerial of the project. We can zoom in on your property and we can see a GIS overlay that our GIS team is responsible for that shows the impact, generally speaking, the impact shaded in red. And then we also have the source documents or the plan sheets that let us see another layer of detail down below as to how your access may change, the topography may change, traffic flow may change, and exactly what is being impacted. But we can see that within a matter of minutes while on the phone during the initial consultation. And so that'll let us know, sort of where we stand at the outset. And then we can have a more detailed one-on-one discussion about how we may be able to help you individually going forward. And if we establish an attorney-client relationship, obviously there's more information that we can then gather from the DOT that helps us and will help us make a more informed, a better decision regarding the process of the case going forward. For many of you that haven't dealt with eminent domain cases before, our process at Bell Carrington, generally speaking, is that we work on a contingency fee basis. That means that we don't charge out of pocket or upfront attorney's fees or retainer costs. We don't charge by the hour. Instead, we operate on a contingency fee of what we're able to recover for our clients over and above the initial offer from the DOT. And oftentimes that helps alleviate some of the financial burden and financial stress of having to absorb attorney's fees in addition to continuing to operate the business and certain operating costs on a day-to-day basis. So just to recap, the project is happening. Acquisition is ongoing. If you have been contacted by someone and haven't settled yet, we invite you to reach out to us to have a discussion about what that offer looks like. And we can have a little bit more of a detailed discussion in a one-on-one session as to what the particular impact to your property looks like compared to the offer that you've received. If you haven't received an offer, there's a good chance that you will receive one soon. And again, our team is standing by, ready to help. We appreciate you joining us. We're thankful to have the opportunity to present you some information, and we would love to be able to speak with you more one-on-one to get to know you and your impact, and hopefully work with some of you in the future. Again, Michael Gault, Bell Carrington, Price & Gregg, thank you very much for being here this morning, and let me know if I can help. Thanks.